9:30.
The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
Game Junkie, Gerard Campbell.
From stuff.co.nz, also the Game Junkie 2.0 blog and Game Junkie NZ on Twitter. Gerard Campbell, morning.
Morning. Do you sound as though I do lots of things, doesn't it?
Well, it makes you sound very, very busy, but I don't know where you get the time to actually do the gaming. Let's first of all talk about this leak of Gears of War 3 onto the internet. Now, Gears of War 3 isn't meant to be out for a wee while. What do you know about it?
It's not due out till September. And from what I know, it was sort of late last week, that there's been a unfinished build of Gears of War 3. It's popped up on torrent sites, apparently. Now this often happens. Some games and obviously films, music does leak before it actually goes out. But what do you know about this particular copy? From what I understand, and from what Microsoft and Epic, the game's maker, have said, that it's a unfinished build. And Microsoft have come out and said that it's apparently not indicative of the final product and the, what the consumer should expect from the brand. So it sounds as though it might be maybe an early build. It sounds as though it's the full single player campaign and a wee bit of the multiplayer. But I guess the thing is that there are a lot of people who really anticipate specific games coming out, and they want to try and avoid as much information about games as they can, and spoilers and that sort of thing. And no doubt if it has been leaked out and it's on the torrent somewhere, no doubt that there soon will be, or there could well be already, video of unseen portions already up on the net. Because as we know, developers and publishers like to sort of drip feed footage of games and stuff in the lead up to the release period. But of course, they won't really showcase the real, fireworks, blockbuster stuff, because that'll sort of ruin the game probably. But I guess for stuff like unfinished games like this, or even campaigns like this of games getting up on the web, is that people are just going to have to be a wee bit more wary now. That they're really anticipating a big title that there may be stuff out. But I think, of course, this is not the first time that it's happened to sort of Microsoft games, because if I'm not mistaken, I think that Halo Reach, which was out last year, a copy of that got leaked onto the internet a few months before that game was released as well. Now
these are Xbox only titles, right?
Yeah, they are, which sort of confuses me a wee bit more, because traditionally you'd think that the argument has been that PC titles have been the easiest to sort of pirate or leak, I guess,
because they're easier to play. But now, because don't you need to modify your Xbox in order to play games that are downloaded?
Yes, well, the Gears of War 3, this unfinished one that's been leaked, apparently can only play on a modified debug Xbox 360. So even if you've somehow managed to get a copy of it from a torrent site, and you've got a bog standard Xbox 360, you're not going to be able to play it. So that means that it's going to be only very few Xboxes that can use it.
Yeah.
But
it also puzzles me because these Xboxes obviously can't, even if there's a multiplayer component, they can't be plugged into the net and go through the Xbox Live system, because Xbox Live will detect exactly where these consoles are and who's playing what.
Exactly. I mean, and Microsoft and Xbox really police that really stringently, because I know even the fact then, as media, if we get early copies of, games through legit sources from Xbox themselves, we're told, don't play it online, because, if Xbox HQ or whatever, see your gamer tag out there playing this game online, then, you're going to get banned, or you're going to go to whatever. So they really police it quite stringently. So personally, I don't see the point of, why you'd want to leak something like this, because A, you can't play it online, and B, there's nobody to play it with. But it just sort of seems to, I guess, it's the thrill of it, isn't it? That, whoever did it can say, I did it, I've got it, here it is.
Yeah.
I've leaked it on. It's I guess it's like a rite of passage for hackers or that sort of thing, isn't it? But it's.
But to me, it sounds like the equivalent of a cam copy of a latest blockbuster movie. The shaky cam in the cinema. It's kind of the copy you wouldn't even want anyway. That's what it sounds like to me.
No, but I mean, I'm sure that there are people that are interested in getting an early, even if it's unfinished, an early copy of it, just to say that, even among their own circles, say, I've played it, I've seen it, I've done this, But I think, people like me, it's really, I want to see the finished product. I don't want to see something that's got, major issues or glitches or, well, more glitches than some games have as per normal. But, you don't want to have unfinished, which is really going to taint the experience for when the retail product comes out. So, an interesting one for that one at the moment, especially because Gears of War 3 is going to be Microsoft Game Studios' big title for the year. So they won't be too impressed that it's been leaked fairly early. Well, very quickly, let's look forward to a game that's coming out soon for the Xbox 360 Kinect. It's called Child of Eden. It is. Now, I don't know whether you can see on my screen, there's a bit of stuff going on in the background there. Child of Eden is... How do I describe it? It's almost a rhythm game. It's from... And I cannot pronounce his name properly, I'm sorry, but it's from the same guy who did Rez and Lumines, which is sort of puzzle games, but, using almost psychedelic colours and sound and light and, and Child of Eden is an interesting one because it's Kinect, and it's probably one of the very first Kinect games now coming out that's actually not, it's not a party-style game, it's not... it's not fitness. See how many blocks. It's not fitness. It's not see how many blocks you can knock down or whatever. And essentially the story is that the first human born in space was is a girl called Lumi, and her digital personality has been stored on, I guess, a stylized version of the internet. But as the player, what your goal is that you have to fly through these archives in the stylus internet to save Lumi, and I guess to purify these archives of all these neon-coloured viruses. And there's sort of a an electro beat to it, and it's really quite and you can fire lasers at these viruses, and then you've got big viruses to attack, and it's a nice change from the usual Kinect stuff that we've been used to, because this year Microsoft has said that this is the year that they're going to really give solid experiences for the Kinect. Yeah, it looks to me like an interactive, what do you call it? One of those graphics that comes up when you're playing music on your computer. It looks like a screensaver type thing. It looks like, but it's interactive. Yeah, and I know that there's almost a similar sort of thing for an iPad that, when you touch the iPad screen, you get pulses of light, and you can move the light around the screen, and you can do these sorts of things. So I think, it's going to really interest people who want something decent now for their Kinect, and who really want to get to see what it can do, and sort of, a nice sort of beat to it, and sort of, I guess, a sort of a psychedelic sort of Rez. If you played Rez before, there's a lot of similarities with that. So cool. I think it may actually be out now. I think it actually might be out now. Okay. So I'm looking at that stage. So we might even have a chat about that next week or the week after. It is called it's called Child of Eden, and it's out on the Xbox. And we were also talking Gears of War 3. Which may have been leaked, a version of it, but it's not the version you want. You're going to have to wait until it comes out. September. Yes, thanks very much, Gerard. Not a problem. Have a good day. You too. Gerard Campbell at Game Junkie NZ on Twitter, and also Stuff Blog, and search for Game Junkie 2.0 on Google, and you'll come up with his blog there as well.